Hi, and welcome to the Thinking Out Loud podcast, a show with meaningful conversations in English with non natives. My name is Jendrek,
My name is Masha.
and we are two English teachers who
Uh, who take pleasure in exploiting our students' imagination,
absolutely, period. I
milk
love it.
them till the last drop.
Yeah, not that it is easy,
Oh
it's
no.
actually quite hard to
Mhm.
activate imagination. Last
And people resist, a lot of people resist it. They don't see the point.
Well, I don't think that they don't see the point. It's just that it's not so easy to, to sort of detach yourself from reality that is surrounding you and sort of explore the worlds of concepts and something that is um, out there, somewhere. But you have
Mhm.
to bring it down and verbalize it. So, in other words, since we are both working with adults, right? I guess that this is an organ, if I may say. Imagination is an organ that is sort of being somehow
Organ, I
forgotten.
have a problem with that. It's rather
Yeah,
like, this extra hard drive that you can connect to your
an
laptop.
external disk or what?
Hey, yeah,
All right.
external. Because organ is something that you either, well, you
Well,
have.
but we
I mean,
possess imagination. I mean, we possess it. It's just whether you use it or not, that depends on, I mean, the development of that, let's call it organ or whatever, depends on whether you use it or not. There are people who are extremely skillful at reaching to their imagination and searching for stuff. And there are people for who it's not that easy. And last week I came um, out with a new exercise, actually targeting imagination, which is purely imagination.
mm,
So there's like a board of concepts, right? They are
mm,
hidden behind, different numbers, and people choose, and there's a concept. For example, let's say a cheap excuse,
mm.
and they have to provide that, an illustration, something that will show, or let's say a concept like the light at the end of the tunnel, or stuff like that. So
Mhm,
you have to kind of illustrate. You have to quickly reach to your imagination, because where else, right?
mhm.
And you have to illustrate. You have to provide an illustration that is first clear, second universally understood. So it's not like a local example, but something that's universally understood. And then it's something also that I want to say is undisputable. I know it's hard sometimes, but something that uh, you have a cheap excuse, and I say I have a headache, and then, well, it's sort of a cheap excuse, right? And I guess it's more or less universally understood, and it's a good example. So everybody's nodding their heads like, oh yeah, yeah, all right, yeah, that's a cheap excuse. So this is something that I consider a good illustration. If everyone's like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, of course. And I guess the function that it has is that if you're using illustrations skillfully, then you're actually directing someone else's thoughts in a way, because the images that you provide, they just they create that reaction of nodding. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, of course, yeah, yeah. And this is how your communication actually um, is successful, right? Because the images that you
If
provide,
you
that
are
that
if you able to come up with something so universal that everybody.
yeah, if something, yeah, something that is almost symbolic, that has a
Hmm,
symbolic
hmm.
power, that is, almost like, of course, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's like the
So
headache is actually not the cheap excuse, it's a code name for I
uh
don't want sex today. That's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah, but but
Cheap
I wasn't I
excuse.
wasn't
I think
referring I
everybody
wasn't
would nod
referring
to
to the
that.
bedroom. I wasn't referring to the bedroom, but it's like
But you say that
right.
they reach to their imagination, but I see is that, they are reaching to their experience because it's
Also,
not that
yeah.
you're imagining something that has never happened to you. That's pretty, I mean, that's difficult.
I mean, you may do either of these things, and I guess the line between your experience and imagination is, after all, not that great,
I think
because
they're very different things. You use your imagination to imagine something you have never experienced. That's
yeah,
a
yeah,
different
but
kind of
but
imagination. Yeah, I
yeah,
think.
but imagine this, when I say, give me an example of a miracle. So, Masha, what is your example of a miracle?
Of a
An
miracle.
illustration that everybody agrees and everybody says, like, of course.
Hmm. It's a miracle.
Hmm.
When you drink heavily all night and you wake up and you don't have a hangover.
Yeah, of course. That's great. That's great. That's great. It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Absolutely.
But I guess it can be explained that you're basically still drunk, and you're not yet suffering. But yeah, let's say that someone like that exists, Well, that would be a miracle. Yeah. I was thinking like surviving a plane crash, and that's a miracle, right? So you don't have to honestly have any experience with that,
I think it's just good luck.
either heavy drinking. Yeah, but good luck that is bordering with a miracle, because it's the odds are so low that it's a miracle, right?
And here you are. There's a question. What's the difference between luck and a miracle? Okay, but this is for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I would say that it's. I mean, miracles. Whether you believe in miracles or not, it's a separate thing. But
Yeah, but what
I
was your
guess
point? I'm reaching to my experience here.
I don't know if you've ever drunk so much and woke up sober. If yes, then of course. But if not, then I guess you simply used your imagination, not your experience, right?
Hmm.
Because you can imagine something like this. Mm, it's an event of a very, very, very low probability,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
And then we call it a miracle. Oh, it's a miracle.
Hmm.
All right. So that's what I mean by training in imagination, and simply, uh, going out there, finding an illustration, bringing it, and verbalizing it.
Hmm.
And it's a great exercise, to be honest. I mean, fun. It's fun for sure. And on the other side, it has also it's a very, very practical application, because when we speak, every time we speak, we use, or at least we should be using for effective communication, illustrations. Copy, paste, a nice illustration.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, great. So, Masha, time perhaps to move on to the thinking out loud
And
proper.
using imagination.
Use your imagination exactly a little bit.
Uh,
Provide some good illustrations.
I'm knocking on my imagination's door,
Yes. All right.
trying to
Get
wake it
ready.
up. Okay.
Before we get to the thinking out loud proper, I just want to remind everybody about certain very important things, such as there is a Sunday newsletter, and you can sign up to it. The link is in the description. You can also study with us. Why not? You can develop your imagination. So click the link of studiomentals.com. And last but not least, this podcast has its own website. You can check it out, and you can also be part of this show by joining us here. All right, fine. Masha, time to get to the famous round one, So
Which is never
I
followed
want to,
by round two.
yeah, which is never or hardly ever followed
So
by round two,
the
but
only
we'll see.
round.
If you crash this question very quickly, I think we're gonna have round two. But if not, then it's
Uh,
gonna end there. All right. My
high
question to you,
expectations.
my question to you is, what's the difference between the peace of mind and indifference? Two states that somehow mm, are the same in a way that you don't care simply, In both cases, you can say,
No,
I don't care.
no. When I have a peace of mind, it's opposite of indifference. I
Mhm.
care. I just made a decision to make peace with it.
Oh, that's nice.
That's my answer.
But could you illustrate that? I mean, no, no, it's
Oh,
it's nice. I like it.
illustrate that, illustrate that, illustrate this. Okay. Um, Peace of mind. Oh, no, no, no. I don't want to go here. Okay. My son not wanting to drop out of school, for
Wanting.
example, wanting, not
Yes.
wanting to finish it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's already in the past. I've exercised my parental powers, let's say,
Oh,
and
great. Great,
we
great.
are over this situation.
All right.
But I remember how it was, and at certain point, I mean, of course, I care a lot about this, but I was almost ready to make peace with it by simply accepting, his decision and giving him an opportunity to experience, natural consequences of his choices.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't stop caring. I just
Mm-hmm.
tried to see it from his perspective, or I don't know, let him even make his own mistakes, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I see. So, but it wasn't giving you peace. That's why you didn't ultimately um,
Hmm.
agree to your son dropping out of school.
Mm-mm. I didn't.
All right.
So
So wasn't
I
that
guess
easy?
it's a
Wasn't
bad,
that easy?
I guess it's a bad illustration. It was not a complete peace of mind because it kept,
Mhm.
bugging me. Something
Yeah.
uh, but I'm thinking now that peace of mind and making peace with something, they are also not the same things.
Making peace with something and peace of
Mhm.
mind,
Mhm.
like forgiving someone.
No, making peace with something, it's always,
Hmm.
accepting something and or putting up with it or just, but it's not indifference. But achieving this peace of mind,
Hmm.
I have a peace of mind. I'm imagining I'm a Buddhist monk or something like that. Okay? That's the
And
only
you are
thing when
sort
I
of,
think
yeah,
of.
but the point, the way I see that is that if you're a Buddhist monk and you're, of course, at peace, but you're also somehow indifferent, There are wars, there are, atrocities happening and whatnot, and there are beggars outside of your cloister, but you have a peace of mind, you meditate. No, I may be exaggerating. I don't know if that's the case, but
I don't
the
think they are
thing is,
indifferent.
hmm
It's a certain level of acceptance, which I'm not able to comprehend
hmm
at my level of, spirituality, let's say.
hmm
So I wouldn't call it indifference, but I can't put my really finger on it, what exactly they feel. I'm sure they feel these sufferings. They are able to empathize with
hmm
people who suffered from all these atrocities,
hmm
but they understand that it's something that, it comes and goes, and you just stay here and meditate. Something like that.
Yeah, but how could you actually feel the peace of mind if there is such stuff happening, close to you. I mean, it's very hard,
Well,
right?
then it means that there is no such thing as peace of mind
So,
because there is always
but
something
that,
happening.
but there is that nirvana, right? I mean, the
Yeah, it's
state.
out there. You're not on
Yeah,
Earth anymore.
yes. So can we say that you're indifferent?
I don't
If
know. I
you're
don't remember myself in Nirvana. That's the point. I'm sure I was there at some point, but I came back for whatever reason, so I forgot everything. I'm
But
sorry, I
Masha,
can't share it with you.
and what did you say at the beginning? That let's get back to this original answer that was really nailing it, because you said that the peace of mind basically is when you care, right? But you're reconciled with stuff,
Yes.
and indifference is like, I don't care, right?
Yeah, and I think reconcile is a good word because it's not about putting up with something. When you put up with something,
Hmm.
you never have this peace of mind. It truly takes this, acceptance, whatever that is. You
Hmm.
accept the things the way they are. Like
Hmm.
there have always been wars, there will always be wars. This
Hmm.
is how things are. And you're just a little monk. Okay, with monks, it's very, very complicated. I don't know what they feel. I don't know what kind of people they are. But if we're talking about us, mere
Hmm.
mortals, have a peace of mind. I mean, okay, if there is something that's troubling you, that's been troubling you for some time, and then you finally, maybe you change perspective, or maybe you accept, and you reconcile, you
Hmm.
achieve this peace of mind.
The peace of mind, to me, if I'm to be like down to earth, I would say, okay, you've got a project, you finish it, and you've got a peace of mind. I mean, it's no longer bugging you, the deadlines and whatnot. And that's a peace of mind. I mean, nothing is troubling you. That's the kind of state, I guess. And of course, it could be very local because, one thing is your job, and the other thing is your family, the another thing is I don't know what, the wider context of everything, but yeah, the peace of mind to me is like you are not. Mm,
So when you finish
y-
your renovation, you will achieve this
yeah,
peace of mind?
yeah, I'll be like a peace of mind. Except, there's always something like, if you finish
Yeah,
that, then you do that, and then
yeah.
once everything is truly done, then you
Maybe it's
start,
very, very
repairing stuff.
fleeting thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, achieving the peace of mind is really hard, I guess, and rare, especially for mm, us, that is the let's say Westerners.
Yeah, one
I
project
believe
finishes,
it's
you are already excited
yeah,
for
yeah,
another.
yeah, 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 and I think we also have a different mentality than the Easterners, like
Oh
Asians,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or Indians.
Just
I
watching
mean,
sakuras in bloom
yeah,
can give them, this peace of
yeah,
mind.
we are restless, We are restless all the time searching for something. I think I told you once, and I told our listeners when I was at the university, I shared my flat with a student from Nigeria, and this was truly an interesting experience to see how she's doing nothing at times. Of course, she was a hard worker. She worked in the kindergarten, and then she was also studying. She had a lot to do. But at times, when she was resting, she was absolutely able to do nothing. And by do nothing, I mean just lie on the couch and observe the ceiling. And to
Well, I'm sure she
me,
was thinking about something.
okay, I don't know exactly what, but I was
But even
sometimes
this,
thinking,
to us Westerners, it's
yeah, even this is strange. I mean,
yeah,
unless I'm totally depressed, right? And I'm like, but if I'm not, then I've got 1 hour of free time. So what am I doing? I'm reading something. I'm
I'm
grabbing a book.
listening to
I'm
something.
I'm
Yeah.
listening to some podcasts or something, right? I'm exercising in the gym or something.
Yeah, I caught myself thinking yesterday I had to go pick up something. Um, and it's not very far, so I just decided to walk. Well, it's a 30-minute walk one way.
All right, all
And I
right.
was like instinct, I was, automatically reaching for my earphones.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And I thought, it's just a walk. Why can't you just walk and, be with yourself a little bit?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I mean, I have to make an effort because my default mode is, use the time wisely. I mean, it's a 1 hour. But is it
It's a separate
wise?
question, if
Yeah.
listening to something you're not with yourself, because I feel that at times, if it's music, if it's not like, some talking and so on, then perhaps you can actually be with yourself more than you are when you hear all the noises from around you. I don't know,
Yeah, but
but it's a
music has
separate thing.
this quality of directing your thoughts in
Yeah, yeah,
some,
yeah.
because it depends on the music. You would
Mm-hmm,
be wandering, here or
mm-hmm,
there.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But noise outside is just noise. But again, you will see something and it reminds you of something. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah.
the
It's
same
very,
thing.
yeah, it's the same thing. I mean,
So you
you've
need to
got
be in
these
the dark
stimuli.
cave, to
Yeah.
meditate properly.
Yes. Or have some sort of ability, to detach yourself and so on. But
So this is the way to have a peace of mind.
now, when we speak, I think we are very rarely I mean, we very rarely attain that level, of the peace of
Hmm.
mind,
Hmm.
unless it's in that very casual sense,
That's why
like, I
my
finished
first thought
something and
was,
peace of mind.
when you are at peace with something, it's very different.
Mhm.
When you make peace with it,
Yeah, because it sounds durable, right?
yes.
If you're at peace, and I'm at peace with whatever, for example, the
I
the
think this
passing
is the
away of,
state of us Westerners. This
you
is
mean,
the maximum we can do.
being at peace.
Yeah, yeah, not having peace of mind, for us it's
Hmm.
unattainable, but we can be at peace with
But
something.
what about being very rich and like not having to worry about absolutely anything? Meaning that, your future and the future of, let's say, your 5 generations, that will follow you
But
is
you're
secure.
talking about financial security. This is like if you think of this Maslow pyramid, it's somewhere at the
Mhm.
bottom. Once it's solved, you get to the new things. You
All
start
right.
worrying about
So you
something
always
else,
you
of
always worry about
course.
something. You always worry
Yeah,
about
and then you
something
commit
ultimately
suicide.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for us, like the peace of mind means honestly the lack of reason to live almost.
Nirvana.
Because yeah, because if you're in that state where nothing needs to be done, uh except then maybe you have a choice and you may choose because sometimes there are things that you have to do. And let's say that if you um, don't have to work, if you don't have, well, you have to eat, but you don't worry about food and so on, then maybe you're
But
just
what if it's about
choosing.
integrity? Not about whether you're anxious or worried, but integrity.
Hmm.
When you simply know that you have your, I don't know, values, you have your principles, and you're able to live by them. The choices you make, they're hard, but you kind of at peace with yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
What if this is a peace of mind?
Yeah, I like that idea, if you're um, so integral that you know what you are doing and you can't haste things, or they have
Let's
to
say
take
you are
time.
a whistleblower.
All
It's a
right.
hard choice to make. You make this choice, you hesitate, you're torn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then once the choice is made
Mm-hmm.
and you've preserved your
If it's
integrity
the
is
right
intact.
choice, if it's the right choice,
And you are convinced that it's the right choice. Only when
Mm-hmm.
you're convinced that you've made the right choice, you experience this peace of mind.
Mm. I don't know. It's a tough example for me because I feel like, okay, what about if you made enemies? And, some people want to
Kill you.
get you, kill you, yeah, ultimately. So could you honestly have peace of mind? You're
Ah, okay,
constantly,
okay. Let me illuminate
I don't,
this. Let's say
yeah,
you
yeah.
are you don't know whether to I don't know, continue this relationship.
Mm-hmm,
You're
mm-hmm,
torn, you're fighting with
mm-hmm,
yourself, you don't know. And then when you finally made the decision,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you experience this.
Peace of mind, you say?
Only if
Uh,
you are sure that the decision is right.
yeah, 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 yeah. If it's like you said, integral, if
Hmm.
so if it's your heart choosing, really, not like cold
Your brain.
calculation, and yeah, 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 you can trust that guy to make integral choices. Yes, if you trust your intuition, maybe. But the peace of mind. Uh, yeah, look at that. I remember there was maybe a question of similar nature here before, because uh, imagine you get rid of all the possessions you have, all of them. So
Imagine all
suddenly,
the people.
yeah,
Okay.
yes, and I guess suddenly there is so little to care about. I mean, you
Oh my
know,
God, there's so much
yeah,
to care about. Where to get your next meal?
yeah, but yeah, yeah, of course, but
Unless you trust that the God will provide.
but
Unless you are a monk.
having less or having less or actually having less choice. Remember what Zuckerberg was doing or is still doing, he had like a wardrobe full of gray t-shirts. The guy didn't want to bother his head in the morning. So he wanted peace of mind, because imagine you've got 10,000 different t-shirts, which one am I going to wear
That's
today?
indifference. You don't care.
Well, but he doesn't care about having the choice, you mean?
He doesn't care what
You're
color
right.
his t-shirt is. I do. I will never have
No, no,
great
no,
a
Masha.
dozen
If
of
if
great.
if if he was indifferent, then he would be just choosing a random one. Okay, let's wear it. He wouldn't care about this matching that, or so that would be indifference. But since he wanted, I guess, peace of mind,
But it's just
so not having
practical.
to
The gray
choose.
color, it doesn't get, I mean, you don't see dirt on it. Maybe that's his reason.
Yeah, ultimately, yes, but he could have decided on, I know, yellow t-shirts, or but he
Yellow
decided
is
on gray
very
ones.
impractical. Gray is the
Yeah,
most practical one.
yeah, yeah. But doesn't that give you peace of mind that, okay, if I get dirty a little bit, it won't be visible that much, and so on. Gives you the peace of mind because, the stains are not that visible.
Lack of choice gives you the peace of mind.
In a way, it does because, if there are two choices, even if they are positive choices, like flying to Mallorca or flying to Ibiza, but if you have no choice, then I
Then the
guess
best
you're,
place to achieve this peace of mind would be prison.
yeah, 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 which
Sorry.
is which is bizarre, right?
Yes.
But I guess it was there were a couple of Auschwitz survivors, who were talking about finding happiness and somehow peace of mind, I guess, right? Within that horrible place. So I guess
I think
I mean, because it's
many,
a mental thing. It's a mental thing, I don't think, I mean,
but don't you
external,
do it through indifference? You basically tell your brain to stop caring. That's how you
that's why,
survive.
yeah, that's why I'm asking that question, if indifference and peace of mind are honestly, you said at the very beginning they're opposite, and I believe it they are. But the deeper you dig into that, if you may find that through indifference, you sort of reach the perfect peace of mind. Like you don't care, and that's all. Because
So you need to
uh
become a jerk or a monk
or a
to be
monk,
happy.
but but maybe there are two
Wow.
like
Remember we had if you want to be happy, like what be happy. So we have the
yeah, just be
answer, become a
happy.
jerk.
Yeah, but it's not like you can become a jerk like that, overnight.
Oh, that's you think it's not
Because we care. Because we care, because it's not that easy to oh, okay, I'm going to be indifferent to what's happening, to everything. It's very hard, I think, because, especially if, let's say you were raised, um, I'm going to say in a normal, but in a loving family, so your emotional development was healthy. And now to cut everything off, and because if you're a sociopath or was a psychopath, fine, you are totally indifferent, you kill and you feel nothing and so on. But for the people with more or less healthy emotions, it's super hard.
okay, but when you are indifferent, you become numb. When you're numb, you cannot be happy. You don't feel
Yeah, neither happiness nor sadness, right?
unhappiness.
Yeah, yeah, it's nothing. It's like
Yeah, but
yeah, it's
when you
feeling
have a
nothing.
peace of mind, I think you're happy.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This is the key difference. But uh, yeah, definitely. Peace of mind is a positive thing. It's a positive thing. You're
How
you're
do we know
happy
if
for
we
sure.
have never been able to experience it?
So I've never been happy in my life. No, I'm kidding. But no,
I'm,
no.
I'm
I
just saying
mean,
maybe there are other ways to be happy.
I'd be lying if I said, I haven't experienced peace of mind because it's except that life demands from us lots of things. It's very hard to sort of stop for a moment, and enjoy
Enjoy
the
this
moment.
peace of mind.
Yeah, yeah, the peace of mind. Yeah. Yeah, because we are always like, even if there is a moment like that, you're already suspicious because something's not all right. I have nothing to do. Yes. So a peace of mind. They say that insurance can
Give you a peace of mind?
give you peace of mind because I'm insured. So if something happens, my house burns down, okay, I'm insured. So at least I'm not going to lose everything and have to beg people.
Gives you
And that
peace of
gives you, but
mind.
once again, we are back to that very basic concept of financial security or material security.
Well, yeah, it will give you a peace of mind regarding your financial security, but you will be bothered by some other things, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, there's the Maslow's pyramid. Ultimately, you will be bothered by, I don't know, lack of development, lack of growth,
Hmm.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right. Oof.
So,
I wonder if it's time to
yeah,
ask, our very, very smart
my
friend.
Claudie.
Let's see. Yeah,
Claudie.
Claudie, come on, bring it on.
No bullet points.
Oh,
Ah, no,
what?
no, 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 no. Wait a
They
second.
changed the algorithm.
Ah, okay. Why is it not? I don't know. It's not working. Okay. There is some kind of a bug. Start a new conversation.
Mhm.
Okay, hi. I always say hi. Do you?
No, I don't think I say hi. But I say,
No.
could you please, or something. So I guess it's equivalent.
Mm,
Right, you will
let's
be
see.
spared by
When there is the war
when the revolution is,
of
yeah,
the machines, yeah, we will see.
yeah. You'll be
Okay,
spared. I will
I will
be
definitely be
somewhere in the
spared.
purgatory. All right.
Ruminating on it. Stand by.
What? All right. Good. We have
No
to wait.
bullet points. Ah, okay, no,
All right.
no. Okay,
Now
so
there are bullet points. All right.
it's a
Let's go. But Masha,
thoughtful
please read,
philosophical.
read, read carefully so that our listeners, can. It's not
Okay,
like read. You don't read for yourself. I'm
okay.
just reminding.
That's a thoughtful philosophical question about two mental states that might seem Similar on the surface, but are actually quite different. Peace of mind is a positive state of tranquility and inner calm that
We said it.
comes, okay, tick, tick, from emotional and mental well being. It involves being present, accepting reality as it is,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
tick, and feeling centered despite life's challenges. When you have peace of mind, so it's something about integrity, yeah? When you
Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah,
peace
yeah.
of mind, you are still engaged with the world, so no,
Mm-hmm.
not monks, and care about outcomes, but you're not
Oh.
overwhelmed by worry or anxiety. Yes! Indifference, on
Mm-hmm.
the other hand, is a lack of interest, concern, or feeling. It's
Mm-hmm.
characterized by emotional detachment or apathy. When indifferent, you don't care about outcomes or engage meaningfully with situations, not because you're at peace, but because you've disconnected or shut down emotionally. Oh, I think we nailed it. The key
Yeah,
differences
yeah.
include, and now bullet points. First, engagement. Peace of mind maintains caring engagement with life, while indifference withdraws from it. Second, emotional quality. Peace feels
Wait,
positive.
so what about these monks? Are they indifferent or what? Because they're detached, they're not engaged.
So I guess they are. They're not
So they're
engaged with
indifferent.
life.
So they don't actually experience peace of mind, do they? I mean,
Maybe too
according to
much
that
peace of
definition.
mind makes you indifferent.
All right. Well, that's is interesting, All right.
Second, emotional quality. Peace feels positive and nourishing, while indifference feels empty or numb. Exactly the word I
Mhm.
used. Oh my God, I feel so good. And three, response to
There is your
others.
master, there is your master. It has already, wired your brain around it. All right.
You think so?
Yeah,
It's
because,
because,
you treat it like it's a god. Come on. It's just a simple machine. I mean,
Mhm.
not that simple,
Yeah,
but right.
response to others. A peaceful person can still feel compassion and connection, while
Hmm.
indifference often leads to emotional isolation.
Hmm.
What sparked your interest in this distinction?
All right.
Jędrek
I may skip
Stepien.
that.
Mhm.
All right, great. But nice, nice, nice. I think
We're doing better and better.
you nail it. Yeah, I think you nail it. If we consider Claude to be,
An expert on peace
an
of
expert,
mind.
yeah,
Does it
yes,
have a mind?
indifference, yeah,
It does,
a mind of its own.
which
All
is
right,
never at
but
peace.
yeah, we just never at peace. That's true. All right, great, Masha. Thanks a lot. Great conversation. I had some moments of enlightenment during that conversation. They're always precious moments. So thanks a lot.
I'm as good as
Thanks
Claude.
to Yeah, 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 and it's also it's always nice to crack these concepts on our own and not being
I'm waiting
fed
for the
by
day
Claude.
when it will take us exactly what, like 10 seconds.
All
Okay,
right.
the,
Oh
the
yeah,
time
yeah.
it took me to read, let's say like this. Okay.
All right. Fine. Thanks, Masha. Thanks a lot for this conversation. Thanks a lot for exploring peace of mind and indifference. If you want to explore concepts like that, maybe a bit less hardcore sometimes, then don't hesitate to get in touch with us.
And if you
Um,
want to reward our suffering, then
of
the,
course, then you can easily buy us a virtual coffee. Links are all in the description. Thanks so much, Masha, to you and our dear listeners. Thank you for your attention. And Masha,
and this was another episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Thanks everyone for listening. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye bye.
bye bye.